everyone, welcome to this Pilates practice. My name is Debbie. Let me tell you a little bit about myself for those that haven't done one of my classes or my practices before. So I had an onset of an early premature menopause, which gave the onset of osteoporosis and brittle bone. Following that, I prolapsed a disc, which took some time to repair itself, and still sometimes today I do get irritation in my spine. However, I looked at alternative areas and into what I could do to sort of help myself rather than sort of keep medicating, and Pilates was the one that came up. I've been doing Pilates now for the last 15 years. I recently became a qualified instructor with a distinction, 99% pass mark. Yay, well done me. Yeah, very proud of myself. And I really do hope that by me doing these practices, I help other people out there that may be having issues themselves. So Pilates works by core control all the time. We use our core for everything. The core is what supports our spine and what helps us. Also, some of the moves that we do obviously will help to build up bone density around the arms, the shoulders and the legs. I use some hand weights. Hand weights, again, I use for help to upper strength here, help to build the bone density there. Every move that I do can be done without the hand weights, so it is a complete option, and I will give you different options throughout the practice that you can choose, so stick to the one that's best for yourself. If you haven't got hand weights and you want to use them, maybe some empty water bottles, sorry, not empty water bottles, some water bottles with water in. Empty ones would be no good, that's just definitely not what you want. Yeah, so something like that maybe. Yeah, as I say, it works around the core control. We hold the core as tight as we can throughout the practice. Sometimes it's a bit difficult, particularly if you're just starting and you're concentrating on moves, you sort of forget about holding the core, but that's the most important thing. So as we breathe in, we pull in the core, we hold it. As we breathe out, we pull in the core even more, holding it as tight as we can. Okay, let's get going. So we are going to start by laying down. So if you take yourself to your mat, you can either go down from your side or you can come down with me. If you've got any hand weights or water bottles full, put them to one side. Right, so if you're coming down with me, nicely seated on your seat bones here, feet nicely flat on the floor, hip width apart, arms out in front, and we're going to start to come down in what we call our C curve. Now, if you come down and you find that your core's not quite strong enough yet to hold you, I mean, we are just warming up. Hopefully, as we warm up, you'll get more strength. Hold behind the back of your legs and come down. Don't just drop, because you're just going to make injury in the spine, which is no good whatsoever. And you'll be taking, if you try and do it without holding on, you will take the strain into your back of your spine, which again is not what we're aiming to do. So if you're coming down with me, hands out, we're just going to come down very slowly, C curving, so the chin's down, we're curving ourselves down, we're holding that core as tight as we can, we're bringing ourselves down to the mat as slow as we can, and then we're going to reach the mat and we're going to give ourselves a nice full body stretch. Really stretch away as if someone's pulling your fingers, someone's pulling your arms, someone's pulling your feet away, big stretch, and then release. So if you do have lower back issues, you can take your feet to mat width and lock the knees in. You can actually even stretch from here as well. You can still stretch, but make sure you're pushing the lower part of your spine into the mat below and not arching the back and stretching from the arch. We're pushing down and we're stretching from there. Fabulous. Okay, if you're coming with me, legs down long on the mat, feet mat width apart, taking your arms out, everybody, just slightly away from your body, palms facing up. Let's release our neck out now. So we're just going to rock our head from side to side, releasing that neck. Try and relax, try not to hold any tension in the shoulders or the body while we do this. It's just the neck or the head that's rolling back and forwards. Then stop in centre. We're going to take a first breathing control here. So we're going to breathe in, pulling in our core as we do so. And as we breathe out and pull in the core even more, we're going to lift just the head. Not the shoulders are staying on the floor, we're lifting just the head, chin to chest. So breath in, pull in that core, breath out, pull in the core even more, lift your chin to chest, hold it there, taking an in-breath here, pulling in the core even more, breathing out, pulling that core even more, and take your head down to the floor, and then release. Allow the core to relax, allow the head to go heavy. And if you can here, close your eyes. Going to take a little bit of a look internally, see what's going on with our body. Notice any points that you might feel that need working on today throughout this practice and focus on them. Okay, and we're going to take a few moments to lay still and prepare ourselves for our practice. So let the feet drop out, relax the ankles and the calves, the knees and the thighs, the whole leg relaxed. Relax your glutes and your pelvis, your lower spine, your mid-spine and your core. Relax the upper spine and your chest, your fingers, your hands and your lower arms, your elbows and your upper arms completely relaxed. Relax the shoulders, the neck, the head. Relax the face. Let any tension go from those cheekbones, the mouth, the eyes and the eyebrows. And just lay there looking internally at your body. Just the rise and fall of your breath. Okay, let's start to bring a little bit of movement into our body now. Wiggle our fingers and toes. Taking your legs together, giving yourself a big in-breath. Through the nose, out through the mouth. And relax. Then everybody, feet on the mat, mat width apart, knees locked in. Taking your arms out into a T shape. Relax there for a moment. Then taking the knees apart. Taking a big deep breath in and leaving the feet where they are, pulling that core, on the out breath pulling the core even more, and drop your legs over to one side. Reach your point of tension and let everything go. Relax again. Little side stretch here, little spinal twist. Just warming everything up, warming the legs up. Then on the next in-breath, pulling in the core. At the same time, bringing your legs to centre, reaching the top, breathing out and letting everything go. Let's do that on the other side. So breath in, pulling the core. Breath out, pulling the core even more. Releasing those legs to the other side and relaxing. We don't want any tension anywhere, don't hold your breath. Breathing gently, breathing into any areas that you might have tension in. Asking it to relax. Then on next in-breath, pulling in your core. Legs to the centre at the same point, reaching the top, breathing out, letting everything go. Get yourself nice and neutral and central there, bringing the legs together, so we've got the ankles together, the knees together. We're not crossing the ankles, we're just keeping the legs together. We're going to take an in-breath, pulling in the core, using the core to bring the legs up. Again, if your core is still not quite warm enough, hold behind the legs and pull up from the legs. Don't pull up from the lower spine, okay? Don't take any tension there. It's all coming from the core. So breath in, legs up, breath out. Breath in, core in. Breath out, core in. Squeezing the legs. Feeling the opening now in the mid and the lower spine. And then release. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of a bridge warm up here, and then from bridge we're going to bring ourselves up and we're going to do a small moving sequence, which is quite nice. So before we start that, we need to get into our neutral spine. So legs hip width apart, feet nicely flat on the floor, taking your hands into a triangular shape and taking them over the top of the pelvis. As you breathe in and pull the core in, your hands will go down. As you breathe out, pulling the core in even more, tilt that pelvis up. Just a very small move, and then release. So breath in, breath out, and release. Breath in, breath out, and release. Do that a couple of times in your own breath. And then hold it there. You should be in a nice neutral spine now, nicely flat on the floor, the lower and the bottom part of the spine. You might have a small arch here underneath your back, that's no issue. Some people do have a natural curve to their spine, but what we don't want is great big bends here. We want it nice and neutral, trying to keep that neutral spine together. So we're going to be taking ourselves up. So bring your feet a little bit closer to your buttocks. Hands down nicely for support on the floor, and then we're going to take that breathing exercise. We're going to start to roll ourselves up. So we're going to start working the spine. The whole length of the spine is going to start moving, and it's going to be opening in this direction rather than up direction. So where we was hugging and we're moving that way, we're going to be moving our spine the other way. Okay, so hands down by the side for support for the moment. So taking your in-breath, pulling in the core, breathing out, tilt the pelvis up, pulling in that core, and push yourself up gradually and slowly. Push yourself up, squeeze those glutes, squeeze those thighs, squeeze everything tight, and come up just onto the shoulders. You've just worked that spine up now. Fabulous. You're going to work it back down, so we're going to take an in-breath, keep that core tight, breathing out, core even tighter, and you're coming down one vertebrae at a time, all the way rolling nicely from the top of the back, mid-spine, all the way down to the lower spine. Last thing to go down is your tailbone. Let's do that again. Breath in, breath out. Keep that core tight, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the thighs, push yourself up. Keep going, up onto your shoulders, keeping that core tight, holding it there, taking a breath in, breath out, all the way back down to the floor. And release. The next option would be to take the hands away. Now if you start coming up and your legs start moving around, you're just going to throw your spine out of sync. Take your hands back down and use your support. Otherwise, hands away, taking your breath in, pulling in the core, breathing out, pull that core even tighter, and gradually start to push yourself up. Really slowly, we don't want to be rolling around, we're going up nice and slow. Getting to the top. Taking an in-breath at the top, breathing out, bringing yourself all the way back down, keeping that core tight. Okay, let's do that again. Let's take ourselves up. We're going to go for the next option. So the next option will be, once we get to the top, and everybody's up there, we're going to take up on our toes. And we're going to take a deeper stretch, stretching the spine even more, taking an in-breath here. Breathing out, let's take ourselves all the way back down to the floor. Reaching the floor, tailbone, heels last thing to come down. Let's go up on the heels, or up on the toes I should say. So breath in, pulling that core, breathing out, tilting that pelvis, squeezing the glutes, squeeze the thighs, keep the core in, push the toes up, push yourself up. Keep going, all the way to the top. Breath in, breath out. Let's bring ourselves all the way back down again. Let's do that again. Let's take ourselves up. We've got another option. again, you stick to the option that's best for you, so you might still have your hands down. That's absolutely fine. Breath in, breath out, toes up, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the thighs, push yourself all the way to the top. And this time at the top, if you can, take your hands underneath and clasp the fingers together, roll the shoulders under, push yourself up and make an even deeper stretch. Nice big deep stretch that you can have there. And taking your hands away, taking an in-breath, and as you breathe out, bring yourself all the way back down to the floor. Heels, last thing to come down. Fabulous. Warm the spine up a little bit there, so let's take our hug in. So giving yourself an in-breath, lifting the legs up, either lifting them or bringing them up with the core control. Breathing out, pull the core in even more, and squeeze. You might feel a little bit more stretch now, might feel a little bit tighter because you've worked one way, we're working the other. Breath in, breath out, and release. Okay, we're going to bring ourselves up now, and we're going to do a few Pilates roll down. We're going to take some extra moves, we're going to move up, and we're going to do a little bit of a sequence going on now. So if you want to come up from your side and push yourself up, that's fine. If you have low blood pressure, come up from the left. Otherwise, we can come up rolling like a ball. So again, we're giving a little bit of massage down the spine. It's an option and you don't have to do it. So we start the momentum by bringing up our legs, keeping that core tight, holding behind the legs here, or you can cross the legs. And you start with a momentum, bringing yourselves up and down. Try not to put the feet, so trying to hold yourself at this position when you come up so that the feet are not on the floor. If they touch down, that doesn't matter. And if you want to take the hands out in front and take that support away, you can do that. And you can even try taking your hands out to the side and rolling from there, which is not as easy as it looks. And then when you stop, bring yourself to a nice seated position. Get yourself nicely on your seated bones, sitting tall. Sit as tall as you can. Bring those legs in as close as you can. Hug behind, around the front of the calves. Sit yourself tall. Pull the spine up. Really stretch that spine. Keeping the head looking forwards. We don't want to be looking up. We're keeping our spine in a neutral one long line. And then if you want, you can take an out breath and tilt your head down. Okay, let's bring ourselves round onto all fours. We're going to take ourselves up from a downward dog position. Downward dog is generally known in yoga, but Pilates we can use it again as well. It's a fabulous move. It helps to strengthen our arms and build up the bone density around the arms because we're taking all the weight into our arms. We also will be taking our weight into our legs, stretching our legs, stretching the spine. Everything will be moving and our head will be lower than our heart, so our circulation of blood will be pumping around lovely around the body. So we're in tabletop position at the moment, so we've got our elbows underneath our shoulders and our wrists are in one long line, and we've got our knees underneath our hips. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our hands just one hand width in front, so we're now out of line with our hands. We curl our toes under, we sit ourselves back onto our heels, and we're going to take an in-breath, and as we breathe in, we're going to lift our knees off of the floor, and then as we breathe out, we're going to push ourselves up into our downward dog. All the time holding that core as tight as you can. So breath in, pulling in the core, lifting the knees, breathing out, core tight, up into downward dog. Take this opportunity again to look in, check in at your body. It's a lovely relaxing position actually. If you're finding it too much on your arms, you can come down onto your forearms, which is sort of like a dolphin pose, and you can stretch from there. So you do take your option where you want to be, and the idea is you push your chest towards your thighs. So you're pushing yourself forward, you're opening everything out. You feel that stretch across the back of the shoulders and the arms, the weight in your arms, the weight in your legs, and then walk the legs out. Walk your feet out, weight the ankles up, weight those toes up.
toes, and then push them down and push that chest through again. Big breath in, big breath out. Relax there, enjoy that pose. Then I want you to bend your knees, walk your hands back to your feet. We're just going to hang there like a rag doll. So taking hold of opposite elbows with hands, hanging yourself down, bringing yourself close to your chest. Then letting the hands go. We're going to bring ourselves up. So we want to come up in a nice straight spine when we get up there, so we're going to be nice and long. So we're going to come up into the Pilates roll up, roll down. So that's a classic Pilates move. It's taking your breath in, and as you breathe out, you start to roll yourself up. Okay, so first of all, we said just the buttocks are going to start to move under, squeeze them so that they're coming under. So they've got that buttock there. You can roll your hands up your legs if you feel that helps. And then from there, the lower back will start to come up. So that spine there. And then your mid-spine will come up. The upper spine will come up. The shoulders will go back and down. And then finally, your head will come up. You'll be looking forward. I'm just looking to make sure that I'm moving correctly. So we're in a nice straight line here now. We're going to do that again. We're going to take a breath in. Nice and tall. Long piece of string right the way through, holding as tall. Breath out. Tilt that chest, chin down, holding in that core and bringing yourself all the way back down. Now you might find you need to take a few in and out breaths as you're coming down. If you do so, make sure you hold the core each breath that you do, bringing yourself down slowly. You might just get to here. You come to where you can, bringing yourselves down. Just put your point where you want to be. When you get to the bottom, take an in-breath. And then as you breathe out, you start to bring yourself back up again. All the way to the top, shoulders, neck and head. Let's do that one more time. Do it in your breath. Standing nice and tall, breath in. Squeeze those glutes tight. Breath out, tilt the chin down. Keep the core tight. Breath in, breath out as you bring yourself all the way back up. Shoulders back and down, neck and head. Excellent, standing nice and tall. So this time we're going to come down. When we get down, we're going to walk our hands forward, but we're going to do a little side stretch first. So taking an in-breath, taking the hands up. Take hold of one wrist, breath out, over to one side. Feel a nice side stretch there. Don't bend forward, we're bending across. Coming back to centre, breath in. Breath out, over to the other side, bringing yourself back to centre, hands down. Let's go for our roll down. Coming all the way to the floor, working yourself forward, coming down onto all fours. We're going to do a press up here, so just one press up. Pushing yourself up, curling your toes under, walking yourself back and bringing yourself back up. Shoulders back and down, head and neck. Arms up, breath in, breath out. Back to centre, breath in. Breath out, back
back to centre, hands down, standing tall, breath in, breath out. Let's take that Pilates roll down. Keep the core tight. Walking your hands out, coming down onto all fours. Let's take that tricep press up, bringing yourself back up. Let's do thread the needle. So one arm up, bringing it under, coming back. Other arm, under we go. Bring it back, curl those toes. Let's walk ourselves back up. Bringing ourselves all the way up to the top. Shoulders, neck and head. Breath in. Holding the wrist, breath out. Side stretch. Back to centre, breath in. Breath out. Back to centre, taking the arms down, standing tall. Let's take our roll down, breath in. Chin to chest, down we go. Keep that core tight. Let's walk our hands out. We come down into all fours. Let's do our tricep press up here. Then we do our thread the needle, one side, on the other side, into Superman. Superman, opposite arm to leg. If you can just if you can't do both, then just do your arm. So if you can't do arm and leg, just do your arm. So on the other side, bringing that back down, curl those toes, let's walk back. Shoulders back and down, breath in, breath out, side stretch, back to the centre, breath in, breath out, back to centre, release those hands. Let's take our breath in, breath out, chin to chest, let's go for that roll down. Walking your hands out, coming onto all fours. Now you can do your tricep as we've been doing it from here, or if you want, you can take your legs out and you can do your tricep press from there. Bringing the knees back down. Let's do, now thread the needle on one side, thread the needle on the other side, into Superman. So out with the Superman. This time we're going to do a couple of crunches, elbows to knees. And then bring it down. If you've just got one arm, you can still bring your elbow to your knee. So the other side. Hand down, let's curl our toes under, and let's bring ourselves back up. Shoulders back and down, neck and head. Take an in-breath. Out-breath, side stretch. Back to centre. In-breath. Out-breath. Back to centre. Hands down. Okay, let's take our roll down. So standing nice and tall. Breath in. Breath out. Walking the hands out. Your choice here for your triceps, push-ups, either there or on your knees. And then we're going to have another option here. So we can do our thread the needle with one leg in the air. Back
other side. Again, if you don't want to take the leg up, keep it where it was, on the floor, coming down. Let's do our Superman, arm out. Let's do our 2 crunches. Bringing that leg down, let's take that on the other side. And bringing that down, and then what we're going to do, we're going to add on here, we're going to bring our leg up, and we're going to do 2 pushes there, bringing it down, the other leg, 2 pushes up there, bring it down, curl those toes under, walk your hands back, and let's bring ourselves up all the way to the top. We're going to do that sequence all the way through now, and you're going to do it in your breath and your time, and I'm not going to tell you what to do. So let's start by standing tall, and away we go. And then your final, rolling yourselves all the way back up to standing. Bring yourself up, shoulders back and down, head and neck. Fabulous. Okay, let's come round. So, say facing forward. This time what we're going to do is we're going to take our legs wider than hip width, okay, and we're going to twist our body to one of the legs. So you turn that foot out, so the foot is now facing away, and you turn your body to that foot that's facing away, the other one is still facing forward. You take a breath in, and as you breathe out, you bring yourself all the way down over the leg, okay? Bring it down as far as you can. You've got your hands here for support. You could take your hands onto your ankles, or you could take them around onto your back. If you've got good core balance, you can hold yourself there for that stretch. Then we're going to open the chest. We're going to take our hands onto our ankles or onto the feet, probably best up here to push our chest open, opening it up. So if you're down there, try and push the chest, but better to try and hold here and open that chest there. Then taking yourself back up to standing, bring that leg round. Let's take the other leg out. So turn the other feet out, turn around, breath in, breathing out, bring yourself down over that leg. Okay, so where you want to be. Oh, my leg's feeling tight here today. So you can either hold onto your foot, you can hold here, you can have your hands for support, or you can take them away and put them on your back. Keep the core tight. I know it's hard to remember everything. And then taking your hands onto the calf if you can, and pushing your chest up to open that chest. Let the air and the breathing circulate. Let the lungs open up here. Big breath in, breathing out. And then bringing yourself up. Bringing your feet round, so both feet are now facing forward. We're going to come onto flat back position.
So we're going to come down, so we're just onto flat back. Okay, I'll go side here so that you can see me. So you've got your legs wide and your flat back. So we're not bending down low, we've just got a flat back here for the moment. Okay, putting your hands on your hips and breathing there. And then taking an in-breath, keeping the core tight. Now allow yourself to come down a little bit further. If you want to take the hands, don't hold behind the legs to pull yourself down. Use your hands. Okay, I need to come back round because I need the grip for my hands. But you'll turn your hands so that the fingers are facing away and the fingers will be in line with your heels. Okay, so your hands are sort of underneath your shoulders, fingertips in line with your heels, and you pull with your hands to bring yourself down and bring yourself forward. You start to build up the muscle in the arm, you start to build up the bone density by using your hands here to pull that weight forward. Don't worry if you're still up here, it's no competition, you just go where your body wants to take you. Get a nice stretch now down the back of the legs, opening there, a little bit of hip opening, and then release. Taking your hands there, pushing yourself back up to to flat back. Taking your hands to your hips, bend your knees and bring yourselves all the way back up to standing. Okay, we're going to bring ourselves down, we're going to do some side work. So if you come back to the tops of your mats, let's take our Pilates roll down, so shoulders back and down, taking an in-breath, standing nice and tall, out-breath, pulling that core, chin to chest, and start to roll yourselves all the way back down to the floor. Taking your hands down, walking yourselves out. And here you can take your hand weights. We're going to use hand weight. You don't have to. It is your choice. Okay? So bending the lower leg, so you've got support there. And the other leg, and we have our arm here. So we're having our arm up in the air. And we're going to bring our elbow to our knee here, keeping the core tight. Breath in as you go away, breath out as you crunch. Breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out. If you're not using a hand weight, make sure you clench that fist really tight so you've got the strength in that upper arm that's working. So your bicep will be working with that, okay? So a couple more here. And then stop. Then we're going to take our leg forward and we're going to do some lifts with our leg in front. Just a few lifts there. And then you're going to bring it back round, bring it down, and we're going to repeat that on the other side. So taking the weight in your hand. I mean, the step up from there, if you want, is you can actually come up and do it from here and do your crunches from there. So yeah, so you've got yourself nicely there, and you can do your elbows to knee crunches there. Okay? You can come up here, you can do them from there, or you can do them from our elbow down to there. So do a few of those where you feel comfortable. And then holding it there, bringing that leg forward, flex foot, and do some pushing up the legs there. Excellent. Okay. Coming round onto our backs. We're going to do some sit-ups. So we're going to be working the core even more here. So we can be using our weights again. So we've got weights either side. Okay, we're going to bring ourselves down very slowly with our C curve. Again, if you still don't feel you've got the strength in your core, hold behind the legs, rolling yourselves down, one vertebrae to the floor. And if you want, give yourself a little bit of a full body stretch here. And then release. So let's get our neutral spine as we did at the beginning of the class. So legs hip width apart, feet flat on the floor, triangular shape, breath in, breath out, tilt the pelvis and release. Breath in, breath out, release. Couple more breaths. And release. Okay, should be nicely down in our neutral spine. So we're going to take our hands behind my head. They're just there for support. They're not going to be pushing us up. The elbows are not here, the elbows are out. We're just going to do some sit-ups here. So we're going to do it with our breath. So we're going to breathe in, pull in that core, breathe out, tilt the pelvis and up, and then release. Breath in, breath out, and release. The next option was me to breathe in, breathe out, holding it at the top, breathing in even more, pulling in the core, breathing out, back down. If you want to take the hands away, you can. If you want to roll the hands along the legs. See if you can take the fingertips over the knees. And if you want to go into full sit-up, you can take your legs long into classic move. You can pull in the core and you can sit up from here, keeping the feet nicely on the floor, bringing yourself up. If you don't feel that you've got the strength to come up from the core, hold behind your legs. You can do it with the legs bent. If you want to sit up with the legs bent and bring yourself up from that position, then you can. And then if you want to take your hand weights, take your hand weights and sit up from there, using the hand weights, coming up as slow as you can, using that core control to bring you up and down. Another option, you can take your hands over your head, breathing out, coming up from there, trying to keep those feet on the floor. Let's do a couple more there. Last one. Coming down and relaxing. And the final move here is the teaser. So before we do that, let's take in our hug. So breathing in, hopefully the core's nice and warm now and you can lift the legs with the core. But if you still feel you need support, then do. Please don't take any strain in the spine. So breath in, legs up. Breath out. Hug those legs. And release. Breath in, breath out, and release. So the final move is the teaser. So taking the legs a little bit further away from the body, knees locked together, one leg up, toes pointed, arms overhead, breath in, and as you breathe out, pulling in the core, you bring yourself up to seated. And we do 4 on either side. So that's 4, 3. If you haven't done this before, have a go. You never know. You might be able to do just one. You might not be able to do any. You might be able to do a few. You know, have a go, because it is really actually the best core workout in Pilates. You won't get anything that will work the core more than this one. It goes to the deep inner muscles, right low down, and works the whole thing. So let's do 4 on the other side. Last one. And take those weights to one side, bring yourselves back down and giving yourselves that hug. So breath in, breath out, hug. Release, breath in, breath out, and release. Okay, let's bring ourselves round onto our tummies for a little bit of a swim. So we're going on to our tummies here now. So put the weights in the front, because we can use those in a moment if you want. So we're going to be on our tummies. We're going to take our swim. So we've got to push the pelvis. Our feet should be about mat width apart. The top of the feet facing downwards. Okay, nicely and flat. Hands out in front. Chin, forehead onto the mat. Hands just in front of that. We're going to take an in-breath. Pulling in the core. And as you breathe out, pulling the core even more. Push the pelvis into the mat and just lift your head. Don't push into the hands, just lift your head up and then come back down. Let's do that again. Breath in, breath out. Taking your hands to the side. See if you can lift the hands off the floor. So you're holding yourself with the lower back and then release. Breath in, breath out. The core's tight, but the upper back is working as well here. So bring yourself back down. We're going to try and take a swim, so it'll be breath in, breath out, and lift the hands round and push them forward. So breath in, breath out, and go forward. Here, if you want to take hold of the hand weights and try and do it with those, you can. So breath in, breath out. And then we're going to go for the swim movement, which is, you can do it with or without hand weights. I'll show you without first. So you're going to opposite arm to leg in the air. Okay, so you can do that with the hand weights. We're not lifting up, we're actually pushing away. So we're pushing the arm away and we're pushing the leg away. So it's not just a lift, we're not swinging ourselves up, we're pushing away. Out breath as you push away. And release. Fabulous. Push those hand weights out of the way. Let's put our hands down. Let's push ourselves up and push ourselves into child's pose. So knees mat width apart, toes locked in together. We're going to be seated now onto our heels. We're going to take an in-breath, and as you breathe out, bring yourself down into a child's pose, head onto the mat, and just rest there. Stretch those hands forward, pull away, pull the hands away, feel the stretch across the top of the back and the shoulders, and then release and relax. Then push yourself up, bring yourself round to seated. Taking your legs out in front, one leg over the other, holding around the opposite arm. We're going to give ourselves a little bit of a washing machine ring out here. So we're going to wring out those internal organs of all the bad toxins. So you're sitting up as tall as you can, holding on, using the other hand behind as leverage to pull yourself around. So breathing in, breathing out, and twist. yourself back to centre. Let's do that on the other side. Holding on, breath in, sitting really tall, pushing yourself up with that backhand so you're tall, and then breathing out, using the backhand as leverage to pull yourself round and twist yourself out. Excellent. So bring yourselves round now. We're going to come down one vertebrae at a time. If you want to come down from your side, then do so. Left hand side, as I said, with low blood pressure. Otherwise, you're going to come down with me, and we're going to do it very slowly. So hands out in front, feet and flat on the floor, legs hip width apart, holding the arms out. Breath in, breath out, hold it. Breath in, breath out, hold it. Breath in, breath out, hold it with that core. Breath in, breath out, last hold. Breath in, breath out, all the way to the floor, arms out long. Give yourselves a nice full body stretch, really stretch away. You might want to pull one arm, pull the other, stretch, and then release. Excellent. Bring your feet up now. We're going to take ourselves over onto a side stretch. So you can do it as we did at the beginning of the class with feet mat width. You can do it with feet hip width. You can do it with one leg over the other, or you can take your legs up into tabletop position and bring yourself down from here. Taking your arms out to the side, taking an in-breath, pulling in that core, and on the out-breath, lower the legs down all the way to one side, keeping your shoulders firmly on the floor. Reach into your point of tension. If you want to take the top leg away, do so, stretch it out, and hold it there. Relax. And taking that back leg down. If you've got it in the air, taking a breath in. Using your core, bringing your legs up to centre, reaching the top, breathing out. Let's take that on the other side. Core in, breathing out. Hold that core tight, lowering the legs to the other side, taking hold of your foot, if you want, stretching it out, looking across to the opposite hand if you wish. Releasing that leg, taking an in-breath. Same time, bringing the legs to centre, holding it there, breathing out. Allowing the legs to go down to the floor. We're going to go into some final relaxation now, so you can stay where you were at the beginning if you have lower issues with your spine. So you've got your feet mat width, legs locked in. Otherwise, we've got our legs long down the mat. Taking your arms out, everybody, palms facing up. Let's take a huge in-breath through that nose, and we're going to let it out through the mouth. So big in-breath. Out breath. Let it go. Close your eyes now if you can. Let's rock that neck out. So rocking your head from side to side, releasing the neck. Coming to centre, taking an in-breath. Out breath, chin to chest, just the chin. Shoulders are relaxed, breathing out, keeping the core tight, breathing in, pulling it in even more, breathing out, core tight as you do so, head to the floor and relax. Let everything just go. Feel the weight of that head in the floor, and start to look now internally again at your body and see how you feel, and see what differences you have from the start of the class to now. Let the toes relax, let the feet relax, the ankles and the calves, the knees and the thighs, your whole legs relaxed. Your glutes relaxed, your pelvis and your lower core. the lower and the mid-spine, your tummy, the upper spine and your chest, your fingers, your hands, your wrists, your lower arms, your elbows and your upper arms, both arms relaxed, your shoulders and your neck, your head and your face. Relax your mouth and your cheekbones. Relax your eyes and your eyebrows, your forehead and the top of your head. Let the tension go. Really sink into the floor. Surrender your body to the floor beneath. Feel the weight of it laying still. Visualize your favourite colour. Visualize that with your third eye. Let that colour warm your face. Let it warm your shoulders, your chest and your arms. Follow the colour through to your core and your pelvis, your upper legs, your lower legs and your feet. And in a clockwise motion, allow that colour to swirl around your body, neutralising everything. And take the colour to your heart chakra. Let it sit there warming your heart. And then let it drift until you lay motionless, just the breath rising and falling. Any thoughts that come into your head, just acknowledge them and let them go. Take your concentration back to your breath. Start to bring some movement back to your fingers and your toes. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. Wriggling your fingers, wriggling your toes. Maybe giving yourself a full body stretch if that feels good for you. Do what you need to do to wake yourself up. Hands down by sides. Big in breath through the nose. Out through the mouth. And when you're ready, rolling yourself onto your side, making a cushion with your arm and resting your head, keeping your eyes closed still if you can. And now gently opening the eyes, focusing where you are, bringing yourself round onto all fours. We're going to be bringing ourselves up to standing. We're going to do it slowly because we don't want any head rushes as we've been laying down. So onto your fingertips, push your knees away from the floor, up onto your toes. Bring the fingertips a bit closer to your feet and push yourself up until your feet are nicely flat on the floor, and just hang there for a moment. Taking hold of your elbows if you wish.
You're taking your hands to your hips, bend those knees a lot, taking an in breath. And as you breathe out, keep that core tight, bring yourselves up to standing very slowly. Last thing to come up is the head, please.
Standing tall, let's give ourselves out, shake our arms, shake our legs out, wake our body up, give a big in-breath, out-breath, shake those arms, big in-breath, out-breath, last time, big in-breath, palms together, bringing them down to your heart chakra, giving yourselves a bow, and give yourselves a clap. Well done, guys.